In this video, I would like to share with you the sequence or progression of how we take students through our classes at Foundation Music School. So some of you viewing this video have your children in Music Makers Exploring Nature. In this class, it is a one-year class where they will be exploring through music natural environments such as their neighborhood, the woodlands, the meadow, and the marsh. In the first semester of Music Makers, your child has already received this folder, My Home Place, where they're going to be exploring through music the environment of where they live in their home. So you already have this. In the materials that you paid for, you will also get, in a few weeks, another folder. The second half of the first semester covers the woodlands. So you will be getting this folder and a CD and other accompanying materials halfway through the semester. The second semester of Music Makers Exploring Nature, they're going to get 2 more folders and 2 more CDs. They're going to get the Cattail Marsh folder as well as the Meadow folder. So that is the material that your child will be covering in Music Makers Exploring Nature. Now, if your child is 4 and they are going through the Music Makers Exploring Nature class, next year the most logical choice would be to have your child begin World of Keyboard 1. Now, World of Keyboard is a slower paced keyboard class that's developmentally appropriate for the kindergartner. It has a lot of music and movement still incorporated into the class, and the keyboard part moves along at half the speed of our Music Makers at the Keyboard Year 1 class. And the reason how we make it move along slower is we combine it with learning about world cultures through music. So if your child is in World of Keyboard Year 1, the materials that they got should have been the Keyboard Book 1 with the accompanying CD and flashcards. And this book they're going to use for the whole year. By the end of the year, they will have covered this book. So by the end of May 2012, they will have finished this book. They also will have received the British Isles folder, and this is the culture they will be learning about for the fall semester. In the spring, your materials fee is going to be much less because they're not going to need a new keyboard book. The only new thing your child is going to need is the world piece. So in the spring, for World of Keyboard Year 1, they will start learning about the Amerindians and exploring this culture through music. The following year, for World of Keyboard Year 2, they will cover Book 2 of the keyboard sequence. Again, they'll take a whole year to cover this book. And by taking a year to cover the book, they're learning a new song about every 2 weeks. And then they will also, next year, be learning about some other cultures. This fall semester, they will learn about Germany and the music that goes along with that culture. And then in the spring, they will learn about the African American heritage and the music that accompanies that culture. If your child is in Music Makers Exploring Nature and they're 5 years old, next year it might be appropriate to place them in Music Makers at the Keyboard Year 1. This class moves along much faster. They learn a new song every week, and there's no component of world cultures in the class. They will be focusing a lot more time at the keyboard. They will still be doing music and movement in the class. It's still very movement and exploration based, but it will have a greater emphasis on the keyboard. So if your child is in Music Makers at the Keyboard Year 1, they will cover Book 1, the red book, in the fall semester. So they'll be done with this by December. And then in the spring semester, they will get Book 2 and cover this and finish this by May. Then they will go on to Music Makers at the Keyboard Year 2. They'll get 2 more additional books, and they'll be ready to go into private lessons. Now you'll notice for both piano tracks, the keyboard component is 2 years long. However, at the end of the 2 years, they'll be at different places in private lessons. The children that took World of Keyboard, the World of Keyboard sequence will only have covered 2 books at the piano. And the children that went through Music Makers at the keyboard, that sequence, they will have covered 4 books. So they'll be at different places. They'll both be ready for private lessons, but they'll just be in different places in the curriculum. If they are going through the violin track, they can go through the Music Makers Exploring Nature class, same as the children that were in the piano tracks. And then they'll go into Strings and Things 1 and Strings and Things 2. And we don't have a differentiation, we don't have a world of strings. It's just purely Strings and Things 1 and Strings and Things 2, and then they move right into private lessons after that.